We're going to be learning about states of matter. So what are the three main states of matter? They are solids, liquids, and gases. Before we talk about the states, I am going to explain some key terms. So what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is the energy an object has due to its movement. If an object is compressible, it means that it can be squeezed into a small area when a small amount of pressure is applied. And finally, attractive forces are the forces that hold substances together. This in turn determines their state. So now that we have covered the key terms, we can talk about the three states. First, let's talk about solids. Some examples of solids in the real world include things like wood and metals. Solids are made of atoms which are tightly packed together by attractive forces. They have very little kinetic energy, so they can only vibrate a little bit. They are non-compressible and stay in a fixed shape. Next, we are going to talk about liquids. Liquids have slightly less attractive forces and more kinetic energy, which means they are slightly more spread out. This means that when poured into a container, unlike solids, they will take the shape of their container instead of staying in a fixed shape. Liquids are still non-compressible though. The last state of matter we are going to talk about is gases. Gases have almost no attractive forces and a lot of kinetic energy, which means they move almost freely around. They take the shape of their container, but they are also compressible. Here is a table showing a summary of all the states of matter. Pause the video and take a look at it if you want. So what happens when the states change? Like for example, when you bring ice cream into the hot sun and it melts, or like when you heat up water and steam comes off it. These are all changes to the state of matter. So firstly, when the state changes from a solid to a liquid, it is called melting. This is like the ice cream melting in the sun. All solids have a melting point, which is the temperature at which the substance will start transitioning to a liquid state. What happens is the heat gives the particles more kinetic energy, which in turn makes them lose some of their attractive forces, which causes them to fall apart slightly and turn into a liquid. When a liquid goes to a solid, it is called freezing. This is like when you put water into a freezer, it turns to ice. What happens here is the cold makes the liquid lose kinetic energy, which makes it gain attractive forces, which bonds the particles together and makes a solid. When a gas goes to a liquid, it is called condensation. For example, when you have a warm bath and the room becomes really steamy, this is an example of condensation. When a liquid goes to a gas, it is called vaporation. This can happen slowly by evaporation or rapidly by boiling. The final two are the more unlikely one, where a solid goes to a gas, sublimation, and where a gas goes to a solid, deposition. Thank you for watching.